there, come join the show. Let's talk the highs, the hurt, the glow. She's got the mic and we've got the night. Let's live out loud, let's get it right.
Welcome back to part 2 of our interview with Anna Erdos. She is the owner of Off the Coast Creative. She's our social media manager for Rejuva Med Spa and Nova Laser and Aesthetics Training, and a good friend of mine. I'm crazy about her. Love that she's on our show today, and we just have so many questions to ask. So thank you and welcome back. Kind of. You never. It felt like you never ever left. Really,
I literally have not moved.
You haven't moved
a budge.
You haven't. You know, I may end up getting a drink out of that refrigerator in a minute. I'm so thirsty. Are you thirsty?
I have my water.
Dang it. Do I have mine? Oh, I have mine. I keep looking.
But this is how our conversations are in real life, too.
I know. I have a fridge in here, and it's this really cute little demeuler fridge, this old school looking fridge. And it's got a lot of good drinks in there. And I should have grabbed one before I started. I might just pop off camera for a minute.
A crispy Coke?
Yeah, there's no crispy Coke in that one. Okay. So episode 1, we left off, we were talking about the things that go into or the things that you experienced and how that led to entrepreneurship. At what point in your life, because I mean, after college, it wasn't like you just went from college to owning a business. Tell me a little bit about what work experience you had. And then what was the moment that you decided I want a different life for myself or, I guess maybe that was in childhood too. Did you ever have that feeling when you were, so let's talk about that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and go back to that for a second.
I did. I remember often doing a lot of self-talk. I would talk to myself a lot, especially in, I don't know if it was like a coping thing or whatever. I'm sure I'd be a therapist, like dream to talk to about some of these things. But I remember saying to myself, and a phrase I kept saying was, Anna, this is going to feel like forever, but it's not forever. And I just kept telling myself that as a little kid. And I, to this day, will feel like I'm in a entrepreneurship, I really want to burn everything down mood. And I'll tell myself like, okay, this is like, it's going to feel like forever, but it's not forever.
It's not forever.
And I think that has really shaped how I am with my mindset, which my reframing probably annoys the hell out of people because they're saying something negative. I'm like, but what about this? And I
do that too. But then when it's my life, sometimes then I'm like, don't reframe it.
I'm like my worst client.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I'll even ask Peter, I'm like, what do you think? And I'm like, what do you think I should? And he's like, do this. And I'm like, I'm going to do the opposite.
Thank you. Because now I know what not to do.
So I think he's been doing some reverse psychology on me as my husband. But
smart.
So growing up, I didn't see the circumstances that I want modeled. And I knew that I was not going to see that modeled and that at some point I could have that. And I just had to keep reminding myself that what I'm going through right now is not my forever. Like where I'm starting is not where I'm ending.
Do you ever heard that before?
No.
So I always wonder like, it's like God speak or something. You know?
I believe sometimes I'll pray and I'll be like, God, just give me the words that I need to say it. And I just remember that almost like a tick.
Yeah.
Right? Like I would just say it over and over again. And then I would calm down. So it's kind of like people count from 10. Yeah. I'll just keep saying that over and over. And I still do that. And because in those moments, you feel like it's forever. You feel like I'm never going to get out of this. I mean, I didn't think I was going to go to college. I was also part raising my little brother because, with my mom doing her thing, it was just him and I home. My little brother and I are really close.
Yes.
We have the same dad. And then I have 2 half siblings who have the same dad. That I'm not quite close with. But Johnny and I went through everything together. And there was an element of protecting Johnny as well. And so we've kind of grown up a little differently. We're really close, but I can see where...
Well, he had a mother, so to speak. Like he had the mothering, I guess, from you. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And my dad got custody of us when I was 15, and that happened within an hour. My dad dropped me off to back at my mom's apartment, and within an hour he was right back there, and the cops were there, and they asked me where I wanted to go move or who I wanted to live with.
Right.
And I said my dad, and my brother comes home from a friend's house. He's like, we're only 22 months apart.
Oh my gosh.
He's like bebopping along like, hey, what's up? What's happening? And then the cop quickly turned him and said, you have to decide where you're going to live.
Wow.
And he had no idea. And he said, wherever Anna's going.
Aw.
So, but I had to think of him. I knew I was going to do everything I could to go to college. And I knew that I could not leave him in the same circumstances that we were currently in. And
he was like your first little chick.
He was
Just
my first
following
little
your
chick, my little Johnny.
Yeah.
He's actually afraid to tell me more things than he is my dad.
Oh my gosh.
But my dad had to learn how to be a full-time parent and both parents within an hour. And we didn't have beds. Like we weren't set up to move in. I kid you not, within an hour, I had a different room and we had to get my stuff over time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, good for your dad for stepping in, because that's, that he didn't, again, he was unaware of those things that were going on. And when he came back and found out, I mean, he immediately went into action,
And he retired early because with the military, you have to do X amount of time shore duty and X amount of time sea duty. And my dad did sacrifice the rest of his career. My dad served 20 plus years in the military, and again, he'll tell you the same. He'll tell you day, time, date, everything. Served our country for over 20 years and unfortunately was cut short because he didn't have anyone to leave us with.
Right.
My dad doesn't really come from the most stable background either. And I'm not going to tell his story, but I will say that we didn't have anyone else besides my dad to step in and help him.
Right.
So, and it's funny because knowing what his salary was at that time and now being an adult who has made that salary, I don't know how he did it.
Right.
And he didn't make it seem. It makes sense why we had a lot of meatloaf now, Dad.
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of salads, but my dad's incredible, and I wish I would have showed more appreciation, but I definitely do my best to do that now.
Well, I think at that age, you don't understand. Your perspective is simply like you're still being raised. And so you don't have a bigger view on you don't have a larger concept or view on the world. And now that you do, it's so different.
And you go from no parenting to parenting within an hour.
Yeah. And you're like, I love the stability, but I hate your rules.
Oh, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was my dad. So it was a rough 4 years for us.
Yeah.
Having to navigate that. And 4 years was all he had with me at the house.
Right.
And so we definitely had to readjust our vision of authority.
When you finished college, what was the first job you had? Well, because you had 3 while you were working college. What would you say is your first like big girl job or career?
Yeah. So I actually started my business my senior year of college.
Okay.
So I started my business my senior year of college, but I was like, where am I going to go back to? So I need to get a job.
Right. It was the social media?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So Off the Coast started 7 years ago, January 2nd, 2019.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You knew that date.
I do. Yeah. Because I avoided the taxes for that year. Well, it's funny because I had built up this whole like thing that's going to be like such a huge lift to like start the business. And when I started it, I was like, oh, that's it. It was like $50 to $100 in 30 minutes of my time.
Right.
With I had Elvis, so my puppy, and then my cat Princess next to me on our couch, which was a day bed, in the cheapest rent that I'll ever pay. And I actually visited the apartment a couple weeks ago, which is really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
So my first job was Geico.
Okay.
I was like, I couldn't find any marketing jobs. My senior year of college, I could not find anything that I loved. So I was like, I'm just going to have to create it. And then while I'm creating it, I'm going to have to go work somewhere else to get a paycheck. So I started Off the Coast Creative, which was originally called Aesthetic Eye Social Media.
Oh.
Yeah. Someone came to me and was like, so what glasses do you sell? And I said, oops, we got to change the name.
Got a name change.
Yeah. So I did. When I took my business full time, we did change the name, but, or a DBA, excuse me. But so Geico was my first job.
Okay.
So,
how long were you there for?
5 months.
That sounds about right.
Oh, it was the worst 5 months of my life.
I've
Respectfully to Geico.
Yeah.
Mentally was the worst 5 months that I
Everybody
experienced.
says that. You were on the call, like the call center.
Yeah. Imagine me knowing me in a cubicle. I'm in a corner and I'm being called every name under the sun because my states were Maryland, DC, and Baltimore. Oh. So those are my main areas, my main regions.
Okay.
Excuse me. So called every name under the sun. I'm 21. Okay. The person next to me, I'm seeing an ambulance every morning, and it's either someone went into labor or someone's having an anxiety attack.
Oh my gosh.
Every morning,
seriously?
Maggie. Yeah. And it's so wild. The person next to me was like, how old are you? And we're still Facebook friends, so it's kind of funny. She goes, how old are you? I said, I'm 21. She's like, you got to get the hell out of here, dude.
You're going to hate
You're
life.
so young. And because once you kind of get into the benefits, they do pay really well. And that's what enticed me. But I actually took a pay cut, a significant pay cut, to then get into my first official marketing role as a W-2.
Okay. So, talk about that. Where was
Yeah.
that with the chamber?
It was. Yeah.
Okay.
So my first marketing job was with the Fredericksburg Regional Chamber. And that was like one of the coolest 2 years ever. Really worked with some solid team members. We're still friends to this day.
Yeah, the chamber's great. If you
Yeah.
are local and not a member, business owner, you should
do
be.
it.
Yes.
Really, really great start to my marketing career. I was able to publish 4 magazines. They're 100-page magazines that went to 50,000 people. And I don't think they do that to this day, but
Yeah.
I was running essentially the entire marketing department by
That's
myself
amazing.
at the chamber. And it was so much fun. We started the podcast during COVID, and the We Are Business podcast. And it's fun to see it still go to this day.
Yeah.
So that was a very
Well, and so many,
moment.
yeah. Well, that helped. I mean, that gave you so much of a launching pad too for yourself.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And they gave me the creative freedom. Like my manager there, Kyle Allwine, at the time, he was like, "What are we missing?" I said, "A podcast."
Mhm.
It seems to be my answer with everyone. What are you missing? A podcast.
Yes. Anna is now here as a guest on the show that she encouraged me to do for a year. So here we go. Full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Let's do it." So they were unwavering, let's do it type people.
That's awesome.
Which is really good because I don't think I would ever have that experience as a 22-year-old going into the marketing role, like publishing for regional magazines and having to write stories and interview and collect all this data and lead that project. It's unheard of, like for my age.
But that's
awesome.
because I think that goes back to what we talked about is that you were ahead for your years because you had to do a lot of grown-up things at an early age. And, and I've seen that from staff members too. We've had people that are, 30 years old that I'm like, wait, you're 30? I thought this person was 21,
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not okay. Look, 30, and then I've got others that are like 19, 20.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
here's a spot that you could be in because of your maturity and your work ethic. The leap that you took to get from, you had started your business, but to actually say, you know what, I'm in a position or I'm at a place where I want to do this or I could do this full time. What was it? What did it take for you to make that leap? Because I think that first of all, you'd said it when we've talked before, but there are a lot of people out there with a lot of really great ideas, but they usually stay ideas. And that's the difference between people that become entrepreneurs, and it's not a criticism. We can't have a world full of entrepreneurs.
Right.
We need a balance of all of it. And
we need employees.
Well, we need employees and entrepreneurs can't be that without employees. And they help build the business. The stuff we've done is never fully meet as a group. It has been the community that I've been lucky enough to have all these years, which you're a part of course. But what kind of finally snapped, if you will, that was like, I'm going to just go for it, take a leap?
Yeah. I actually walked into a lunch and didn't realize I was walking out of the lunch without a job. And it's not because I was fired. I walked into a lunch and I said, essentially the conversation led to me asking, "What's your offboarding process?" And it just came out of my mouth. And I like to think of that being a God moment because that was a year ahead of when I had anticipated on taking my business full time.
Wow.
I had no savings. I had no backup plan. I did have some of my clients who have been with me still to this day.
Right.
And I had enough to contribute to our household. Keep in mind, Peter and I had just bought a house. We were getting married that year. We had 100-person wedding planned, and that didn't happen.
Right.
And so I walked in essentially with no plan, which is funny because that's the most at peace I have felt about that decision than when I had hyped it up for years before saying, it's time, it's time, it's time. But when I thought it wasn't time was actually when I felt most at peace. And that's the best decision I've ever made. That was the roughest year for Peter and I. Peter really experienced something he had never experienced before, which is basically financial instability.
Right. And you're like, I want you to understand what I went through.
Yeah. And
it'll bring us closer.
That's when my childhood really prepped me for that.
Yes.
It was my year 3 or year 4 in business, but it felt very much like a year 1. And I'm so grateful for that year because I can't imagine to this day if I had waited another year.
I think that's really what it is. Like the people that do stuff part-time, I think it feels a little bit more like hobby, and
Yeah.
you can't really launch it and scale it unless you just kind of go all in, like burn the ships, because you
Yeah.
you need that adrenaline and you need a little bit of fear.
Yeah.
Fear's a good emotion if you can utilize it,
Yeah.
and it's there to prevent, but it's
Survival.
also there to provoke. And like it can, when you're in that position of needing to survive, well, what are you going to do? And
We sold all of our new furniture.
oh my gosh, seriously?
We had
Wow.
bought new furniture for the house, had to turn around and sell on Facebook Marketplace because we didn't have any money. We canceled our big wedding, got eloped in my engagement party dress.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's really, I mean, that's amazing though. So you guys just really went all in with it.
Yeah.
I just took out a big home loan.
No, I was just like, it was literally.
I paid it back. Trust me. I had to pay it back, but yeah.
It was scary. And also like we were first time home buyers. So I don't know about all these extra things that I could do financially. Right. So
mine wasn't a good choice.
All I know is scraping by. So I immediately go to, okay, we're going to scrape by.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not thinking of what other opportunities can I take advantage of that's in this country.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even think about going to go to a food bank, which is what I used to growing up.
I was about to say, be like, honey, we got this food bank.
No, and it's just like I remember Peter, but he had such a calmness too about him. He's like, Anna, I saw you cry every day.
Yeah.
He's like, I saw you were working 8 hours for your main job and then 8 hours for off the coast. And you were exhausted, but not treated right. I've had 2 employers basically tell me that I should get on anxiety medicine. I've had them tell me that I'm making a huge mistake, that I'll never make as much money as I'll make with them. And that alone, honestly, was a motivator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, and it's amazing because knowing you now, I can't imagine that being said to you or that you would need that. But perhaps the anxiousness that they were seeing is just the fact that you were overworked and just not in the right place for you, where you ultimately needed to be, And again, I know that the people we hire, that some of them are there for the long haul. I mean, like I said, we've had people there well over a decade, which amazing core part of our team.
Yeah.
Other people, maybe just a couple of years. It's just, not everybody stays where they initially land. So it's like you learned a lot, you made great connections, but it was time for you to move on.
For sure. And, when someone asks you questions about how they can improve and you tell them and they say, just get on anxiety medicine. That's right. Not really what you're looking for.
That's true. That's not going to, that's really
like,
doesn't help.
You asked.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for that.
And I'm honest.
Yes. Thank you for that. I was hoping for something a little bit better. Yeah.
It's just a leadership. I think seeing poor leadership made me want to be the leader I didn't see.
Right. And you've done that. I mean, same with like where you look at, you grew up with poor leadership, quite honestly. So
it's on brand.
Exactly. So that's and that honestly could be, your anxiety might've been a little bit of heightened because again, there is a similar role there. And so if you have yet another person that you maybe are trusting to guide and lead, support, and give you, this security, and they're failing at that, I would think that could possibly lead to some similar feelings. Okay, let's be real. We all want that fresh, glowy skin that looks like we've been sleeping 8 hours a night and drinking green juice. Even when, if you're like me, you've been swapping that green juice for Coke Zero and you're getting more like 5 hours of sleep instead of 8. Well, that's where our medical spa, Rejuvelay's Med Spa, comes in. We do everything from relaxing facials to laser treatments, body contouring, injectables, and biostimulation. The team at our medical spa really listens to you and customizes treatments based on your goals, your lifestyle, and your budget. If you've been thinking about giving your skin a little love or a big transformation, be sure to check us out at RejuvelaysMedSpa.com or feel free to stop by. You deserve to feel confident and radiant, and Rejuvelay's Med Spa makes it easy. Trust me, your future glowing self will thank you. couple more questions for you. Looking back, of course, you're this little girl who had to take on like a big girl role. Do you think she'd believe where you are today? Would she?
No.
What do you think she would? What do you think she would say?
Honestly, I think she would think that we're cool.
Yeah.
Like, look at, like, we're doing it. But also, like, keep in mind, like, my job really didn't exist when I was little either. So
That's
I really
true.
didn't anticipate on being in this industry, let alone being married to a wonderful man. I didn't see that. I didn't see a relationship modeled how I would have envisioned for myself having now. I think, honestly, like, it's just good. I think you should say good job.
Right.
Like, thinking back on it now, like, I wanted better for myself. I knew that. And I knew that I would do whatever I had to do that legally.
Right.
within reason, right? But I'm not really a reasonable person. So legally, at least, do whatever I have to do to get there and to put myself in uncomfortable positions to be in the right room with people or to network and do public speaking or something like that. Like, I knew I would do whatever I had to do. But you don't really know how to map that out as a kid.
We've talked a lot about you as an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
You're running Off the Coast Creative. You've got several other businesses as well under that or kind of housed under that or on their own.
Mhm.
Give us, if you will, just a quick rundown of Off the Coast Creative and specifically what it does and who you work with.
Yeah.
What do your clients look like?
So Off the Coast Creative is a boutique marketing agency. We specialize in social media. We started with just social media, but now it's turned into supporting small businesses in many different industries with other areas of their marketing. So text messages, email marketing, maybe strategy, content alone, or social media management and content. So we really have become that right-hand person. What's the analogy? Right-hand person?
Right-hand man,
Right-hand
person,
man,
yeah.
right-hand woman. Okay.
Yes.
For these small businesses to walk through something that still feels very foreign for a lot of people. My industry specifically didn't really have a seat at the table until COVID. So my business went from 3 clients to 8 while I was working full time. So I had 8 full-time social media clients, which is crazy.
How many do you have now?
Oh, now? So we have 12 monthly, and then we have clients doing other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it varies too. Like we have, sometimes we just support, excuse me, just support clients with strategy. And, again, during COVID, we just, that's when we really started to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And my first client is still with us to this day, and they're Fredericksburg Accounting Advisory in Fredericksburg.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we support businesses, med spas, obviously, which we are exclusive to clients. We don't work with your local competitors, which is really nice. Our clients love that. Dentists, accounting firms, business coaches. We have photographers, realtors, astrologer.
You do. Yeah. You have a lot of a variety, which is really
industries.
cool.
Yeah. Beauty industry, waxers. It's been so fun. I mean, I've worked with a cheer gym. It's where I broke my ankle filming a reel.
Oh my gosh.
This one.
Hazards on the job. Yeah.
Literally broke my only bone in my entire life while filming content. So
what do you think as being a content creator? Obviously you are for the school, Nova Laser and Aesthetics, and then for our medical spa, Rejuveles. Do you enjoy the benefit of getting treatments?
Oh, yes.
As part of the content creation?
Yeah.
And I know obviously you come in as a client too,
I do,
but has that been a new world for you? You talked a little bit about that. Like that was something kind of foreign to you before, right? You hadn't done a whole lot of aesthetics.
Yeah.
So
I didn't really do a lot of things that a woman would do.
Yes.
Likely. Like, I mean, I got into makeup in school and high school. My dad didn't really know how to have boundaries with those things. So I didn't have boundaries. Like I could wear makeup or, if I didn't, if I left the house looking a certain way, he would probably tell me.
Yeah.
But I didn't because I leaned on the more cautious side because I didn't know the possibilities. So I didn't really get into skincare. Being raised by my dad and having my brother. So I'm in this household with 2 guys. Head and Shoulders was my shampoo.
Right.
And conditioner. Like I'm using 2-in-1 shampoo.
Yeah.
I didn't have like a special shampoo. My dad sent me into Target to buy tampons and stuff with his money. He's like, just go do it. Like, so I learned a lot through my clients, and I've learned a lot through skincare, and skincare is still very new to me.
Yeah.
So in the last year since working with Rejuveles, I've started doing my monthly facials, and I'm learning a lot about skincare and, in 2026, trying some new treatments, like
Mhm.
just really like diving into a world that I may not have experienced if I didn't work with these guys.
Did we do laser hair removal on you?
No.
Oh, it was the waxing. You did waxing at the school.
I did.
Oh my
The
God.
students wax. I was like, hey, I'll get my legs waxed. I'll
Yeah.
let you wax my legs. And they had a fantastic
I wish
time.
I'd seen it. I wish I'd
Oh,
been there.
I know you posted the reel. There's
You
a
did?
reel.
Okay, I'll have to watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes I don't see every little thing sometimes, or I'll watch it and then
Yeah.
something will come up.
We put
yeah.
out a lot.
Yes, yeah. I try to like watch all of it. Of course,
Yeah.
it's our stuff, but I feel like one or two get missed sometimes by me. So all of this to say, you've got the chickens at home. I know that we didn't really talk a whole lot about the chickens, but tell me how many chickens you have. You've got a chicken coop. Do you plan to add any more animals to this?
Peter, turn off the camera or turn off the audio.
Turn it off.
We have 8 chickens. So we have
Okay.
2 dogs, Elvis and Presley, and then we have a cat named Princess, who I've had all 14 years. When my dad got custody of us, he bought me a cat.
Aw.
So Princess has been through it all.
Yes.
And then we have 8 chickens. I want a goat.
Okay.
Peter said this is the max animals that we can have at our current place.
Yes.
So I said we have to move.
Okay. I think that's reasonable. That's reasonable.
I love it.
Yeah.
It slows me down.
Yeah, it keeps you grounded.
Yeah, you can't take yourself serious when you're chasing a chicken around a yard.
Yeah.
Or the chicken's chasing you.
Yes, that's even better. I've seen the videos. They're good.
They are good.
Yeah. Well, I think that again, it's having that other purpose besides yourself or the business and the hustle that you can get caught up in with all of that, especially in the fast world of like social media and marketing. So having something like that, that you're responsible for, it's like, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Let's go out there, take care of the
Shoveling
poop, getting their feed.
What signage you give me? It's on their door. It's like a butt nugget.
Oh, yes.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I know, forgot.
Butt nugget hut or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Little chickens.
They're fun.
If there's somebody looking for social media support, of course, they don't have to be local to reach out to you. You've got Off the Coast Creative on IG, TikTok, Facebook. Where else? Anywhere else?
Our website, so offthecoastcreative.com. But if you find me, Social Anna, on Instagram, you'll find all of the other brands that are under that umbrella.
Right.
Which includes Vow Division, our wedding content creation, Off the Coast Creative. Bell Bottom Brims is the mobile trucker hat bar.
Such a cool. It's so much fun.
With Kelsey. So
yeah, it's a great birthday parties, great staff event. And there's a lot you can do with it, but those are a lot of fun.
Oh, we have a market this Sunday, so it's busy season for Bell Bottoms. So.
That's awesome. So exciting. So there's a young woman listening to this story at home, going through some of the things that maybe you went through: instability at home, not feeling like she's seen, wondering where her next meal is going to come from. What is something you want her to know? What is something you want her to hear?
Yeah, well, first off, it's going to feel like forever, but it's not forever. That's the biggest one. The second one is you have a choice. We can only blame the people and the circumstances around us, but so much. You have a choice to, change your life. Like, that's in your ability to do that. And it may look different. It may take longer than other people's, but you have a choice to change your life. It doesn't matter if you're young or older, or if you feel like your life's at its end. Like, you have a choice. Like, it can always be better, and it can always look different. If you don't like it, then change it. For me, a lot of people start with like, they have an idea, and then they go through this period of time from idea to concept going to like implementation, and they sit in that time. And this is just if someone wants to change their personal life or their business life, but they sit in this period between idea and implementation. And sometimes they never leave that gap. Sometimes they're asking people for their opinions. They're doing a pro and cons list. They're trying to convince themselves that this is not a good idea, or I don't need to change this.
Right.
I skip that. Idea, we're implementing it.
Right.
Poor Peter.
Yes. Yeah.
But, and I think that
he's a good man.
He is a good man, Savannah.
Yeah, he's a good man, Savannah. That's what I posted on your page.
He's a good man. And it's like, because we're going to do something together next year. And he thought like 5-year plan. He was like, oh, in a couple of years. I'm like, no, babe, next year.
Yeah.
Like,
We're doing it.
January 2nd.
Yes. Yeah.
To avoid taxes
Yeah.
for that year. You just have to do it. And I know that that's a few words, but if you really sit with those words for a second and realize that you just have to do it. You can't afford not to.
Mm-hmm.
You can't afford not to see if it works out. You can't afford not to be a kind person. You can't afford not to do what you think you should be doing.
Right.
And we have 2 phrases off the coast. The first one is don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone has these like very intricate core values, and it's like all that can be summed up. Just don't be an asshole.
Right.
And then the second one is you can't afford not to.
Yeah.
Like you really can't afford not to on a small scale pay your bills.
Mm-hmm.
You can't afford not to put yourself in a room with people you feel like you should. And it's just like you can implement that in everything. So you just have to do it. You can change your life.
Just like us sitting in the idea versus taking action. And maybe it doesn't have to be burning all the ships at once, but you need to take some kind of action. You can do you take some action if you want change.
I say a big phrase that I say, and my German friend Verena, at first when I told her, she was like, what does that even mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because she couldn't understand it, but build the plane as you fly.
That's right. You told me
Get
that.
it off the ground. And you might be missing a couple seatbelts, or there might be some seats that are like not really secured in there, but you have to get it off the ground and just have to do it. You learn best by doing. And I rather learn as I go and then include my community online in that process, because they have more buy-in when they're seeing the process.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than sit there and wonder and wait for my circumstances to be perfect to do it.
Right. That's great advice. Well, I wanted to just say what a pleasure it has been to have you on our show today. This wraps up episode 2, or I should say this wraps up part 2 of this wonderful interview with you. Thank you so much for your time. I know that you love being here, as you said.
Do.
But I love having you. I know.
Thank you.
Of course. Love having you. Love your story. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing it with us too. I think there are a lot of people that it will resonate with, and also a lot of people that will be surprised. I mean, I'm surprised to hear some of it too, because I didn't know certain things, which is it's really exciting. So thank you. No one. So thank you for sharing that with us. And guys, thanks so much. We'll have our next episode coming up soon. Thank you guys so much for dropping by, and we'll see you next week.
Woohoo!
Woo!
So pull up a chair, come join the show. Let's talk the highs, the hurt, the blows. She's got the mic and we got the night. Let's live out loud, let's get it right. She's got the mic, yeah. We're doing